Welcome to another episode of the Go Flush Yourself podcast with Jared Kirk and Matt Milbauer. Hey listeners, I want to thank our sponsor, Bird Hunter Supply, your go-to for premium hunting gear at birdhuntersupply.com. This family-owned business run by a husband and wife team from Idaho is driven by their love for bird hunting, dog training, and the great outdoors. For them, hunting is a treasured family tradition. Think crisp mornings in the field and the thrill of the chase and those irreplaceable moments with dogs, family, and friends. They've built Bird Hunter Supply to share that passion, curating high-quality gear to help you create your own lasting hunting memories with your crew. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned hunter, Bird Hunter Supply has you covered with top-notch equipment from dog training tools to hunting apparel, backed by exceptional customer service to make your experience unforgettable. Best of all, they're deeply committed to preserving the wild spaces we love. When you shop at birdhuntersupply.com, you can choose at checkout to direct a percentage of your order to conservation powerhouses like Pheasants Forever, Ruffed Grouse Society, or Delta Waterfowl. Your purchase helps these groups protect vital habitats and sustain the wildlife that makes our sport possible, ensuring hunting traditions thrive for generations. Visit birdhuntersupply.com today, explore the carefully selected gear, and support a family-run business dedicated to both hunters and the outdoors. That's birdhuntersupply.com. Gear up, hunt with purpose, and help preserve the wild. Welcome to another episode of the Go Flush Yourself podcast. I'm Matt, as always, with my co-host Jared Kirk. Jared, how you been?
Good. How about yourself, Matt?
Oh yeah, good. Been out in the field, so that's been good. We are joined by a guest from Tater's Flyway, Chris Lewis. Chris, how you been? Or
Good. How about
how are you doing? It's good to meet you, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing good. Getting a ton of hunting in, so can't complain
Nice.
there.
Cool. Well, I guess we can start with tell us about yourself, like where you're from, and kind of the basics around how you got into hunting and bird dogs.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Central Oregon, and about almost 10 years ago now, my wife and I, we moved over to the western side of the state, over to the Willamette Valley for her schooling. And so now we're on the west side and hoping to get back to the Central Oregon area once she's done with school, but we're over here for now. Hunting wise, kind of an interesting one. I got into it as an adult. I don't come from a hunting family. Half my family into fishing, but no hunting. And then I had a lot of interest in it as I was right around 21, I would say, is when I started kind of showing some interest in it. I spent a lot of time backpacking already and basically just started hanging out with a couple guys that were hunters themselves growing up and really told them, I'm like, hey, I'm like really interested in getting hunting and getting into it. And they weren't in a spot to really mentor anybody. And they're like, they're all just get the gear and go out and do it. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And that's how I got into big game hunting. And then bird hunting came a lot later, actually. Tater's actually my first bird dog, and I got her last year. So the real first time I went bird hunting was actually Chucker. I had a buddy that was he was just going out, him and his dog, and he's like, hey, you ever been chucker hunting? And I'm like, nope, what's that? And he had to explain it. He's like, you have a shotgun? And I was like, yep. He's all right, let's load up. And it was funny because it was me, him, and his Chesapeake retriever in my little Geo Metro at the time, and
Nice.
Going over the mountain pass to get out to go hunt some chucker, and shot one chucker that day, and it was miserable conditions and just legs were killing me by the end of the day, and been hooked ever since.
Nice. So I guess we kind of buried the lead a little bit, but you have your own YouTube channel. Do you want to tell us about that? And then we can kind of lead into more about Tater and everything else.
Yeah. Tater's Flyway is the channel name. It's just one of those things where my wife kind of encouraged me to do it because outside of work, I'm very kind of antisocial, not a big extrovert guy. And
Same.
The one exception to
Yeah,
that
same.
besides work is if somebody asks me about hunting and my dog, and then I yap away. And so Tater is a very kind of unique dog for most of the hunting I do. And so every time I go out and I run into other hunters, it's always, I mean, we spend a good 20, 30 minutes out in the field or out in the duck blind just chatting about it. And so um, my wife kind of encouraged me to make a YouTube channel to kind of share that with everybody. And it's kind of where I'm at now. I haven't uploaded much lately just because I've been doing more duck hunting, and
Yeah.
duck hunting's a little, it's kind of boring to make like long form videos, in my opinion, especially where we're at for duck hunting, because you're just kind of sitting in a blind and we can sit for 8 hours. And so it's, I mean, you can split it up into just the action shots, but I feel they make better like Instagram, like reels, just kind of short form content. But whenever I get out and I'm doing upland hunting, so like the sage grouse video is the first one I put out.
Yeah.
I think that stuff makes better long form. And I think kind of the target audience of the upland hunting kind of has more of the patience too. Waterfowl guys are just like action, action, action.
Yeah, I feel like the waterfowl videos I see are always just like kill shot, kill shot, kill shot. And it's like
Exactly.
ducks cupping in, kill shot. It's like that's cool, but you can only do so much with it, I think, before it's like, like okay, more, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, most of the time you're just sitting in the duck blind. I mean,
Yeah.
you're taking 7 birds a piece, but you could be in there for hours and you're just BSing the whole time, which makes for boring content. I mean, there's some funny clips here and there, but I think with the upland, there's more of a story to be told, because I think people are more interested in the process of getting there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I get that. So tell us about Tater.
Tater, Tater is a English Cocker Spaniel from a
Mhm.
breeder over in Eastern Oregon. She's just over
Which
a year and a
breeder?
half old now. Rank Gun Dogs.
Okay, I don't know that one. We're in Eastern Washington, if you weren't aware. We're in the
Yeah.
Tri-Cities area. So
Yep.
so yeah, I usually know a lot of the breeds. I haven't heard of that one. So yeah, keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So she's English Cocker. She's 25 pounds.
Hmm.
She's a liver and roan, or a liver and white, or I guess liver and roan. And I mean, she is, when people talk about cockers, you hear full of energy, tons of drive. And then the other one they say is like goofy and people pleaser. And Tater, from the moment we brought her home, was high drive, high independence.
Mm,
She's not a people pleaser. She a little bit more so now, but she's always just been all business all the time. Super confident, super independent. I mean,
right.
the very first day we had her out in the backyard, she was diving into every bush she can find. Just could care less that you're out in the backyard with her. But
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, she's a little firecracker. It's funny. Most people, when we're in line for duck hunting, people are just cracking up walking by because they see this little 25-pound cocker. But when we get her out into the blind, she'll retrieve every duck you shoot. I mean, she's all drive, and no matter what the bird is, from sage grouse, doves, geese, ducks, if it flies, it dies, in her opinion.
Kind of reminds me of your Bones, Jared.
Yeah, he's yeah, seem like they have the same personality. He's a little more of a people pleaser, but yeah, if
Yeah.
it flies, he'll try to go get it.
Yeah, it was funny because when we first got her as a puppy, my wife was really excited about having kind of a affectionate dog, because my previous dog that I had was an Australian cattle dog that was
Mm.
very bonded to me. And so it was kind of one person dog. And so getting a cocker, she's like, oh, they're people pleasers. They're big hams. And we get her and she is just, nope, don't want anything to do with you unless you're willing to roughhouse with her. I mean,
Okay,
if
yeah.
she's not chasing birds, she wants to roughhouse. And it kind of changed once like leading up right about when she started to go into heat, she started getting affectionate. And now she's kind of turned into a cuddle bug when she's not hunting. But yeah, it's not your typical cocker in that aspect. When you hear people talk about the high energy, kind of the naughty cocker, it's what you'll hear. That's where Tater's at. But it's that high energy, high drive's been great though, because it was something that really made training on the bird side really easy. Things just clicked once we started really involving birds in her training. And so she just started picking it up quick. She realized, if I do this, birds are involved. The only thing I want in this life are birds. So she started picking up on everything real quick.
Very nice, very nice. So how old is she now?
Um, right around like 17, 18 months.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
So you're saying she kind of picked up birds quick. What did training look like, or exposure maybe look like for
Yes.
you?
Yeah. So I think something that's really important that I know my breeder did is he introduced birds to them before we ever picked them up. So
Hmm.
I actually got to go out and visit them at 6 weeks old, and
Very
he
cool.
actually brought pigeons out with them and actually tucked some of their wings and let the puppies kind of rough up a pigeon there just to kind of show their non-hesitancy towards a dove. And but training wise, I I really wanted to do everything myself, and so I spent I wanted to take everything slow. A big
Yeah.
thing that I think a lot of people kind of end up doing when they do this kind of training on their own for the first time is they'll rush things, they'll set too high of expectations, and so they end up rushing through and end up getting frustrated because they're not seeing the progress they want, or they're having a dog that wants to do its own thing. And so I think people kind of get in the spot where they rushed into it and this is what they wanted and they're just not seeing it. So then they kind of pull back and then they pull back too far. So things started off really slow. Her first 6 months of life, 95% of her meals were fed from my hand. And
Hmm.
so training started the very night we brought her home. So we actually picked her up. We met the breeder. He was on his way to the airport to fly two of the other puppies out. And so we met him there, brought her home, and first thing, she went right into the kennel. So we started kennel training from the moment we got her. And so that night, straight into the kennel, and then training. That actually went fairly easy. Obviously, puppies are going to whine and cry, but
Yeah.
um, I'd spent a while preparing my wife for that and letting her know it's like, hey, we have to stick to this because crate training is going to make everything else much
Yeah.
easier. And
Hmm.
so training to start was just working. We've got a hallway where I'd close off all the doors and I'd work with her in that hallway, just kind of limit her escape routes, because that was the biggest thing. Is out back was like in our backyard. We have a nice back fenced in backyard, and training back there was near impossible because you
Mm.
took her outside, she was off doing her own thing. And so
Yep.
we had to start with keeping her in kind of a confined space, and the food was the biggest motivator for her.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be that way for spaniels, probably most working dogs, but yeah, food's a big deal. Like I remember when I first started working with like, all my spaniels when they're puppies, it's always yeah, like by the time I get to their actual meal, like there's barely any food left because I've been using treats throughout the day to reward all that behavior. So
Yep.
I totally get that. What drew you to a cocker in the first place when it came to an upland dog with all the different breeds out there? What was it
Yeah,
about the cockers?
it's a, a twisting, turning road to get to a cocker for me. I originally, the dog that I had in my mind that I really wanted to get was a Brittany.
Okay.
Um, I really like the look at them, the look of them. I really like the size. They're pretty much the same size as my cattle dog, right in that 30 to 35 pound range. And so I really enjoyed that. And I was at the time when I was looking, I was still a renter at the time. So weight was definitely a big factor.
Yep.
And the thing that turned me off to him was I couldn't find reliable sources that had Brittany's that did any waterfowl hunting with them. I'd find
Right.
on a forum here or there a guy that would say, "Oh yeah, my Brittany will retrieve one or two birds, but then she shuts down or he shuts down." And so that was what kind of turned me off to them. I really wanted a pointer, but didn't want to deal with any of the bigger dogs. So Brittany
Hmm.
kind of was really that the dog I wanted. And so once I couldn't find any of the waterfowl, because on the western side of the state, it's the most
Yeah.
available bird to hunt for us. Sure, Washington's pretty similar because
Yep.
I was hunting this morning. It's a half an hour drive to get to our wildlife area that we hunt, and we can get out there, shoot a limit, and be back by lunchtime. And
Nice.
so waterfowl is a big one. It's not my preferred hunting. I prefer upland, but right now it's quite a bit of a drive to get out to any decent upland hunting. So that's why waterfowl held so much weight in my decision. And so I ended up through research landing on small Munsterlanders, just Munsterlanders in general, but the size pushed me to the small Munsterlanders. But what ended up pushing me away from them was just breeder availability on the West Coast. So that was something that was really important to me. I wanted to try to find a local breeder to Oregon or even Washington, somebody that I could go out and visit before making the purchase. Somebody I could actually go out and talk to in person. And so I think the nearest small Munsterlander breeder I could find was Wisconsin. And so, as excited as I was about the breed, that kind of killed it for me. And so after that, that's when I really had to talk with myself and accept that I probably wasn't going to get into a pointing breed that would be a good waterfowl dog as well. Right. That was in my size constraints, because some people would say like a poodle pointer or German wire hair, which all great dogs. Actually, I see a few of them out where I hunt, but size wise, they were just a no-go for me. And so that ended up putting me on springers, actually. So springers, they kind of fit the bill. I was interested in a smaller springer, kind of like Bones. That 30-pound range is ideal for what I was wanting to do. And I was able to find enough guys online talking about waterfowling with their springers. And so I was pretty set on springers. And so that's when I switched gears from trying to find a breed to really just trying to find a breeder that I wanted to deal with. Yeah. And so instead of just Googling purely Springer breeders in Oregon, I was just looking at just dog breeders in Oregon, just across the board. Because I found that there are a few breeders in Oregon that do multiple breeds. And so when I was Googling specific breeds, I was cutting out a lot of breeders. And so I started that search through Google, and I came across a page, and it took me to their Facebook page. And one of the first pictures I came across was a Cocker Spaniel sitting on a 5-gallon bucket that was flipped upside down and some cattails, waterfowl hunting. And that caught my attention right away. And that ended up being Rank Gun Dogs. And I did a deep dive on their page, and they had videos of his personal cocker, doing deep goose retrieves and duck retrieves in the water. And so that's when I really started switching gears, started looking into the cockers themselves. And I got really excited on cockers from that point, because I found a few Springer guys that were like, yeah, my dog will waterfowl hunt. And then when I started looking into cockers, I started finding more guys that were saying, oh yeah, they're like, any bird I put them on, they'll hunt for them. And so that's kind of what got me onto the cockers. I really liked that breeder. And so what I did is I ended up sending an email out to multiple cocker breeders in Oregon. And basically I sent the same email out to all of them, told them my situation, all the different types of hunting I'm interested in doing with the dog. And they're the two main ones that come to mind when it comes to responses was who I got Tater from. So Rank Gun Dogs, the guy called me right away, and he's like, yeah, these dogs, they'll hunt anything you put them on. There's not much these dogs won't do. He's all, I breed GSPs and cockers, and he's all, my cockers will keep up with the GSPs all day long. He's all, they're little psychopaths when it comes to hunting. And then, so I was stoked on this guy already, because his Facebook page, just his videos of what he was doing with his cockers and all of his pictures. It was exactly what I was looking to do with the dog. And then the other guy that emailed me back was the same situation. He breeds GSPs and cockers, and he took the chucker aspect of my email and said, you don't want a cocker, you want a GSP. He's like, I can get you into a GSP, and just kind of forgot everything else I was talking about. And so, I mean, I didn't even respond to the guy after that, because he just got locked on that one breed. And I'm like, yeah, but a GSP and a cold duck blind, I'm like, that just sounds like a nightmare. So
and your size constraints kind of nixes the GSP as well. So yeah, for sure. So you landed on the cocker. That's great. So I guess the question that immediately jumps out to me, um, and probably others who've been around cockers, is how are they in the duck blind? How is Tater in the duck blind then?
So Tater thinks she's a Chesapeake. I mean,
Okay.
she'll sit in a blind all day long. It's one of those things where I actually I watch her pretty closely to make sure I'm not pushing her too hard.
Hmm.
We've had several hunts this year where she was the only dog in the blind, and we had three guys, and we have several hunts this year where we had 3-man limits where she retrieved every bird.
Wow. Wow,
So I
that's
mean,
great.
she just goes. She's got. I mean, she's too small to grab two birds at once. So what she'll
Hmm.
do is she'll bring one bird back and get it to the bank, leave it, go back out and get the next one and bring it back. I mean, she
That's
goes.
great.
And in the morning, she's definitely she whines a bit until she gets the first bird. Like she'll sit there and she'll just whine, like she just shaking with excitement. Then once
Mm.
she gets that first bird, she'll sit there and she'll just be quiet and just watch, just like a lab will.
Wow, great. So I have one more like breed related question. And Jared, I know you have things want to ask, and I've been hogging the conversation here, but
You're good.
um, so did you ever run across thinking about a Boykin then? Because they're like the known as the wa more of a waterfowl type spaniel.
Yeah,
Was that ever crossed your mind?
absolutely. That actually, I came on the Boykin. I totally forgot about that. I I got interested in the Boykins before I even came across the Springers and the Cockers.
Okay.
And the same thing with the small Munsterlanders. It's just I couldn't find
Yeah.
breeders on the West Coast that were
Hmm.
within the range that I wanted to be in, or at least that had um, any available litters anytime soon. And it seems like the Boykin community, there's a lot of um, I don't know, how do I put this? When you talk to a lot of Boykin guys, they'll say there's a lot of bad breeders out there,
Mm,
just with the explosion and the popularity of them. And so
yeah.
there's a lot of people online will caution you to really look for a good breeder, like South Carolina. They'll say a
Yeah.
good spot to look for them, and that's where that kind of the distance for me went away, because I thought about it for a while. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind flying out and picking up a dog, but it, I wanted to be able to kind of build a relationship with the breeder before getting a dog. And over the phone is you only get so far. When you can actually go
Yeah.
out and visit the breeder and see them work with their dogs, it makes to me it makes a big difference.
Yeah, 100%. There's like people always want to know like who's the best breeder, even just in like my radius, whatever, like, days drive of me. But like there's never really, I guess you probably could find the best if you look up how many titles or however you want to do it. But really comes down to the breeder that that has the things you want, right? Like you have to get along with the person because you got to work with them. You have
Yep.
Hmm.
to, you have to be able to talk with them and chat with them. Yeah, they have to have the same kind of things you want, the same priorities that other dogs that you want, and all those things have to come into place. So like, it's really the right breeder for you. So I really commend you on finding that right one. Like you went through a really long process from
Yeah.
breeders to different types of breeds and everything to find the right one. It seems to have worked out. So that's awesome. Because
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of cockers out duck hunting, right? Like they can do it
Yeah.
definitely. I know they can do it. They got the drive.
Hmm.
They like to swim, but it's just not like the common, oh yeah, that's a duck hunting dog.
Yep.
So that's
Absolutely.
cool to see. Jared, what
Yeah.
kind of questions do you have for Chris?
Well, it's more of a training question, I guess, because
Mhm.
I think our dogs are roughly about the same age. Um,
Mhm.
so like my thing is like Bones. I was able to get Bones a couple water retrieves this year, which I wasn't able to train him on because all the water around here has got green algae in. Um, so did you work on water retrieves at all with your dog, or did it just kind of figure it out on its own?
It so she she kind of figured it out on her own. She's not a she doesn't want to go swimming in the water like a lot of cockers do,
Hmm.
if there's not a bird involved. So a lot of cockers, you'll see like people just take them out for a walk and they see a puddle and they're in that puddle instantly.
Hmm.
Tater's not. That's the opposite of what she wants to do. She wants to stay out of the water, but once there's a bird involved, she's in the water. I mean, the last season, she really wouldn't go in the water after a bird unless she could touch still.
Okay,
I think it was more of just a confidence thing.
sure.
Um, she had one real good water retrieve last season, and it is crazy because it was her first water retrieve, like her first swimming retrieve, and it ended up being my first banded bird as well. It was a nice
Oh,
banded
cool.
Drake mallard, but this duck did it just right to where I think she just couldn't contain herself. She had to jump in because I'm sitting under this tree and she catches the bird before I do, and it's flying away. And so I rip on the call and turn that bird from the other end of the lake. And we're hunting this little finger cove, and it came right down the gut and shot it on the left, and it fell to the right. I mean, so she saw everything happen. She saw the bird flying away, saw it come back around, and then saw it bounce off the water, and she was just gone. Just went for it. And so over the summer, I kind of ran into the same issue that you guys do with the algae, and so I
Yeah.
didn't really do any work with her in the water. But from that first season, I think what really helped is that she spent a lot of time in the duck blind watching my buddy's lab work.
Mhm.
So I'd basically just tie her up on the bench with us. I'd even bring a blanket and a heater for her because we did a lot of cold hunting last year. But she would watch the birds come in, would kind of pick up on us calling. So we'd hit a duck call, and she would instantly start looking in the air for the birds, and then she'd see us shoot them and watch my buddy's lab. And so we'd let her off the leash at that point, and she'd run up to the edge of the bank and just watch the other dog work. And I really think that's where she picked up most of her water retrieving abilities and skills. Is just watching a good lab work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like I've, ducked hunted over labs in the past, but my springers, I just can't imagine. I mean, they've only upland hunted, right? So when they see birds, they want to go after them and that kind of thing. But I just trying to think like them in the blind. I guess Sophie might be okay, but Bridget in the blind would just be torture. She'd just be like, "Let me out there and see what I can find along the bank," But that
Yeah.
exposure to the lab and sitting there
Yep.
and seeing the ducks and seeing that comes with the reward of the retrieve has to be what instantly, probably gave Tater that mindset.
Yeah, yeah. Because when the other dog would bring the birds in, when we take the bird, we'd then let Tater smell it and hold it for a little bit, and so
Hmm.
she started putting that together. Like they start calling, everybody's quiet and looking up, and once they shoot, the other dog goes out, and so I think she really just kind of picked up just by being close to another working dog doing it.
Yeah.
Now,
And
a
there,
funny,
oh,
oh,
go
go ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
A funny story. I really wish I was videoing or had gotten into videoing at that point. Was we had this blind where the water actually kind of wrapped around us a little bit, but it was only ankle deep in the back. And my buddy's dog just retrieved this green winged teal, and so he took it and he threw it in the shallow water in the back for Tater to go get. And she went right to it, picked it up, and then took off for the field behind us. And we spent about 20 minutes trying to chase and corner this dog while she was running. Just she would throw the bird up in the air and catch it. She was just playing with it. And it took us about 20 minutes, two guys and waiters just chasing this cocker spaniel down, trying to get this bird back from her. It was hilarious.
I mean, as frustrating as that can be at the time, like it's such a good thing to see a little puppy do it. And you're like, oh, you love that bird. You love to
Yep.
play. You want the bird. So that's at the same time, it's heartwarming to be like, yes, like the dog
Yep.
loves birds. So
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And to touch on the a dog in the blind like your guys' springers, I think some a really good tool for kind of you're not standard dog for a duck blind to get them um, to kind of sit still and be good blind dogs would be crate training. I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
one of the biggest things you can do because um, if you can crate train your dog, then you can get like a Momar stand like I have, where it's a dog stand with a built-in blind, and I
Yeah.
use it just like a crate. I tell her crate, and she goes and she hops up in it, and she'll sit there and lay down in it, and she just treats it just like she does her crates at home.
Mine would do that too. Now you're saying that because I was, our Dove opener over here is always lately. It's been way too hot to even bring the
Uh-huh.
dogs out. Even in the after, if you're in the afternoon, it's like it can be
Yeah.
100 degrees outside.
Yep.
But I always want to bring them if it's going to be cool enough. And I always look at one of those little blind dog blinds, and I'm like, they
Yep.
could maybe do that. Like I could tell them kennel, they'd go in there and hang out. We could try it at least, and then maybe see if
Yep.
they do duck hunting. Then it's a yeah, trial run. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think crate training, a lot of people, when they talk about it, they just they talk about it more as a convenience of having somewhere where you can put your dog to kind of turn that off switch on, or
Yeah.
Mhm.
to put them somewhere while you're busy. But I think it crate training is really the one of the best building blocks for potty training and for
Yep.
having a steady dog. So whether you're duck hunting or even upland hunting, just having a dog where you can shoot a bird, have them in that kennel or they're blind, just helps.
Yeah.
You can help build that steadiness, that place training. I think it's crate training. I think is the first thing everybody should do, and they should really stick to it, just because it makes training everything else so much easier.
Yeah, and it goes
Yeah.
hand in hand with place boards as well. Like it's a similar concept, but it really gets your dogs in the mindset from a young puppy of like learning how to learn. Like, okay,
Yep.
it's not so much fun to go sit in my crate. I'd rather go jump around on my family and chase toys and all this stuff. But like I do that, and then all this good stuff happens, and everything's fine. I got treats for it, and it starts to learn. They figure, okay, learning is okay. I can do this thing that kind of sucks, that I don't think is that great, to get something I do want.
Yep.
And I think it starts that process
Absolutely.
really early, kind of out of necessity, because you need to have them in the crate when they're puppies too, so you can like do something, because
Yep.
they'll get into anything. Were you
Yeah.
saying something, Jared?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's I mean, crate training I think is important because it's bones I think would probably be fine in a blind, honestly, duck hunting blind. I just haven't taken them out yet. Other than jump shooting ducks and stuff. But yeah, it's something I've been thinking about doing, but
Yeah.
maybe next year we'll see.
Maybe we should try it, Jared. Like it's later in the season. There's probably less duck hunters out. Maybe
Yeah.
we should try it. We should go find some decoys again, and I'll
I
break
can
out
I
the
can
semi-auto, and we can.
yeah. I can dust off my old decoys. I think I still got them somewhere.
I think mine are all gone. Yeah, maybe we need to go take him out. I'll bring Sophie. I'm not going to bring Bridget back there. You can see on the camera because I don't know how that would go. But Sophie would chill. She loves the
Yeah,
water.
this is true.
Oh, now you got my gears turning here, Chris. Now you got me and Jared going on a duck hunt. So
I
Yeah.
think
I
we can
mean,
do it.
yeah, like I was saying earlier, upland hunting is my preferred, but
yeah,
I think um, as bird dog guys, I think we owe it to our dogs to get as many hunt days in as we can every season. And for me, I'm doing at least 2 hunts a week just because duck hunting's that close to me. So
right.
when I've got more time off, I'll go over and try to do more upland hunting. But
Yeah,
when I can get out of the house for a few hours in the day, go shoot some ducks, and then come home and still take care of regular life stuff. I mean, I enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much, but I think the dog loves it. So I owe it to her to get her out as much as possible.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're definitely smart to try to find a dog you could duck hunt with in your circumstance where you live. Like otherwise, if you had a Brittany and you're constantly trying to get out to Eastern Oregon to
Yep.
put it on upland birds, like yeah, that would suck. Exactly to your point, they wouldn't be hunting nearly as much. So the cocker can do it all.
Yep.
Very good. So with your channel, what are your goals with your channel? Are you just making videos to make videos and see where it goes, or do you have kind of like something you're trying to aspire to do different things with it, or what?
Yes and no. I was reluctant to start the channel. I mean, I put it off for a whole season. It was one of those things where I kind of felt dirty, um, kind of putting videos up because the hunting. I mean, when I first got a dog, it was the hunting was for me. I like the hunting, but I mean now I've kind of fallen into the cliche where I've got a bird dog now, so it's really more about getting the dog out and watching that dog work and getting birds for her. And so
Yeah,
it felt a little slimy at first posting videos because I was kind of in this weird space where it's like I wanted to put like really cinematic stuff out, and I wanted to stay away from like kind of the feel of where it's just kill shot, kill shot, kill shot, and just
yeah,
kind of glorifying that aspect of it.
right.
And so, I mean, I sat on that sage grouse footage for a couple months before I even touched it, just because I had to talk myself into it because it was a point where I wanted it to be such a polished product that it was outside of my skill set of video editing and just video in general. And so I just got to the point where I finally was like, it's the hunt was enjoyable. Watching this dog works, just it tickles me. I know people around me that I know really liked seeing like videos that I just had on my phone and stuff. So it's turned into more of just I like to put the videos out so people can see what Tater as a dog herself can do, and just kind of show people that you don't need a very specific breed for each bird. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get I'm of the mindset that most dogs you can get them to hunt a much larger variety than what most breeders or trainers will tell you. Um, with the caveat being that I think the more species and different species you have them hunt, you're going to have some areas where you're disappointed more than others. Might
Yeah.
not do exactly what you want it to, but I think if you're patient enough with training your dog, that you can have a blast hunting just about anything.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like what you're saying with the kill shot, like with like a duck hunting, like we talked about earlier with upland hunting. Like there's times, we all go out and you don't get anything. Like, but
Yep.
there's still a story. There is still a great day you had with your dog or your buddies in the field or whatever that is, and
Yeah.
you can still make a video out of it and tell that story. And the dog, maybe they wanted, would like to have a retrieve, but they still had a great day.
Yeah.
So
And
they're out there doing the thing.
that's my biggest thing when I like today when I shoot one duck. My biggest regret is that the dog didn't get more retrieves in.
Right.
Because I mean, I can only eat so many ducks every day,
Sure.
so
Mm-hmm.
it's getting when I think of shooting limits, it's not necessarily because I want that much duck meat. It's obviously I'm going to use all the duck meat. I eat it all.
Sure.
I like eating duck.
Right.
But it's if I shoot a limit, that means my dog got to retrieve as many birds as legally allowed for that day. So when I'm chasing limits, it's for the retrieve.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's another thing with like right now I'm more active on Instagram just because of how much duck hunting I'm doing, and it makes easy real content and make sure that when I do go out and I have a bad day that I still post. So like
Hmm.
posting that I only got one bird, or 2 weeks ago I got totally skunked, and so I make sure I still post about that just to kind of keep myself honest and try to help keep myself from getting into that kind of they're doing it for the picture mindset.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny how fast that cliche that you were just talking about, that like we do it for the dogs now, how
Mhm.
fast that kind of sneaks in. Um,
Yeah.
it comes on quick and it comes on hard, and you're just like, well, I'm just going out because the dog needs to go out. Like it's really not about me anymore. It's like I want to go out because he needs to go out. He needs it. Um, but it's just kind of funny how that cliche just kind of sneaks in, and it's yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, when your dog gets their first bird in an actual hunt, I mean that I'm not a sports guy and I've never been a fan of watching sports, but when
Mm-hmm.
Tater put it together for the first time and she picked up that first bird, I was like a Patriots fan when they won the Super Bowl. I was walking around in circles just going, "Let's go." Yes. I was
Uh-huh.
so stoked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still get that way every time. I mean, the sage
Yeah.
grouse hunting, I was losing my mind when we put it together and she got the birds, and it's especially when she's on a new species and watching her put that together and associate the bird with the scent that she's been smelling but hasn't really been focusing on.
Mhm.
Nothing brings me more excitement than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when. Oh, go ahead, Jared.
No, you're good, man. Go.
Oh, I remember when Bridge got her first limit, like taking her from a puppy to like now she has a limit of roosters, like in the wild, like not pen raised ones, and just that last bird, I think I yelled and put my fist, like, and it wasn't for me, like I was just shooting roosters. It's not, well, I missed a bunch, but it was not the most difficult thing in the world. But the dog, like when we went all day and she got that last one up, and I was able to connect and she picked it up for me, like. Oh yeah, exactly. It's like watching your kids do something great, or
Yeah.
your sports team. If like you said, it's pretty wild feeling. Yeah, it's not something I think to Jared's point, a lot of people expect when they get their first dog or get into bird hunting. Yeah, I think maybe not that the dog's a tool, but like I don't think they see that side of it until you actually experience it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tater picks up her first bird and I'm like, all right, this is my personality now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
you're not wrong. Like
Yeah.
they sneak in and just kind of weasel their way in, and that's it. Um, have you it happened to me. I used to hunt a lot more other stuff, and now I haven't really hunted anything other than birds now since I got my dog. Has it kind of been the same for you, or are you still going out there for other stuff?
Oh, we're going for everything. I mean, this year alone, in the month of September, I think she got on 5 new species.
No, I
So
meant you hunting without your dog, I guess, like
Like
big
big
game, that kind
game.
of stuff.
oh, yeah. So this year, I put in for what once in a lifetime tags. So tags that I had no business in drawing, nowhere near
Hmm.
enough points. So it's basically my mindset now towards big game hunting is I put in for the once in a lifetime tags that I might get on the 25% random that Oregon does for every tag.
Gotcha.
And with the idea that if I do draw the tag, I'm obviously going to hunt it, but if I don't
Right.
draw it, then it's just a point saver and I'm going to go bird hunting like I wanted to do anyway.
Right there. That's
Exactly.
fair.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, I didn't do, I did do spring bear hunting. And that's just because it doesn't line up with any bird season. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I had Tater at camp with me, and so it was just her and I out for 2 weeks. So I'd go hunt in the morning, come back for the midday, and then hunt the evening. And so I was still spending a ton of time with the dog, letting her run around a bunch. But otherwise, elk and deer, I didn't even. I drew second choice. I drew a couple tags that could have been successful on, but didn't even bother going out because I could be bird hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been just an upland hunter, just an upland, but that's all I've really been after. I also, I was younger, some waterfowl, but my dad was the same way, so I think that's where I got that from. But Jared, like I've seen you when we first met, like I think you would hunt probably just about anything, and every
Pretty
day
much.
you went, it could be something different, right? Yeah, but now with bones, it's like you just want to go shoot upland birds, which is cool. For me, I like it because that's my thing. But
Yeah.
and my friend only wants upland birds now, but no, it's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as growing up as a kid, I was always very big into dogs, did everything with a dog. And
Yeah.
I got to the point as an adult where I was into hunting, but I had a dog that was not a hunting dog. So an Australian cattle dog, she was very gun shy.
Mm.
4th of July was the worst time of year. And when she finally passed, almost 2 years ago now, that's when I was like, all right, time to switch gears and let's get into a bird dog. Because I
Nice.
mean, I'd go, I'd take her out the cattle dog. I'd take her out scouting preseason with me, and so
Hmm.
we'd be out in the back country and had my dog with me, which was great. But then when I was actually hunting, I was like, man, I wish my dog was with me. And so now I get
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's like there's hunts out there like turkey hunting, for example. In Washington, definitely you can't. I'm allowed to use dogs on turkeys, but that's not a common thing anyhow here. But it's like why would I go? Like I can't bring my dog. Like, my friends will be like, "Oh, let's go on turkey hunting this spring." I'm like, my dogs are at home. Like leave them at home. Like I'm not doing that. So like I'm
Yeah,
just only wanting stuff with my dogs. And it's one of those things that people who aren't into it, I'll say yet, assuming that someone would get into it. But if they're into the outdoors and they love dogs and they have even a mild interest in shooting guns, like this is could be a pretty addicting thing when you bring those kind of things together into one place.
absolutely.
And now you're
Hmm.
and now you're stuck. And the thing that there's a season it only lasts X amount of months. And so there's an off season where you get to sit there and think about it all off season. Like it's not one of those things you can get sick of because you can do it whenever you want. Like you have to
Yeah,
take time off from the actual hunting of wild birds and wait and do the other stuff like training and clay shooting or whatever. But none of it scratches the itch enough to really um, do it like it does hunting actual birds in the field with your dogs.
yeah. I mean, I spent the off season doing making like a one of those maps and plots that you see like on a serial killer documentary or movie where you've got all the pictures and the string going from one picture to the other. I was just thinking,
Hmm.
okay, September 1st, I can hunt doves here. I can get into sage grouse if I draw sage grouse, and then if I don't do that, I can go shoot forest grouse over here, and then this and that, and just looking at all the different species. I'm like, I'm going to get her on that, get her on that, and so it's the off season is just planning for the bird
Yeah,
season.
right. Or just on Onyx,
Yep.
like scrolling, looking, and
Yep,
marking pins. This looks interesting. I should check that out. And then,
yep,
yeah, nope, that's what it is.
exactly.
Working with your dog and just all the stuff. Yep. No, I get it. It's all you can really think about once you get into this world. And the more people that fall into it, I think the more people get into it and just can't get out. We've
Yeah.
talked to plenty of those people on this podcast before too.
Hmm.
Well, great. Well, Jared, do you have any other questions for Chris?
Well, we have to get into the gear stuff because
Oh yeah,
everyone wants to
right.
know about that. Like,
Yes, yes.
what's let's start with let's go with gun and vest, man. What's your gun and vest?
So I've got three different guns that two of them are, I stay very specific with them, and then one's kind of the backup for either. So my field gun for upland is it's a Browning B27, which is
Okay.
actually I just listened to your history of the Superpose and Satori episode, and the B27 is kind of a not well known gun. It's still a Belgian made gun. It's right in between the transition. So it's it was Browning's real their last attempt at trying to make an affordable superpose, essentially. And so it was I think they made them between 73 and 75. So right before they went to the Moroku factory.
Right.
And so it actually has a Satori serial number when you try to look it up, but it doesn't go to a specific model or anything. And then on the gun itself, it actually says made in Belgium. And so it's one of those things where I had to go down some deep rabbit holes to figure out where this gun actually came from. But it's a 12 gauge fixed choke gun. It's bottom barrels improved, modified, and top is full.
Okay.
Which I actually really like it because it hits birds hard. It's a really tight shooting gun. Love the guns. A little on the heavy side. It's kind of set up more for traps. It's got like a big beaver tail fore end and the big Browning, their big Broadway rib on it. So about as heavy as a rib as you can get from them. But it shoots like a dream. It just out of luck, it fits me perfectly.
Nice.
And it's got a sporter stock on it, so it's not adjustable, and it just happens to fit me nice. And so that's my go-to field gun.
What shells do you run through that with those chokes?
2 3/4. So if I'm in a spot where I can shoot lead, I have a hand load that I load for it. Ounce and an eighth number 6s that are shooting around 1350.
Okay.
So not too crazy hot and not too slow, but I'm kind of starting to move more towards the slower shells anyway. But I'll shoot that, and then if I am in an area with it where I do need to shoot non-toxic, I use Kent bismuth. I like number 4 bismuth, one of their waterfowl loads.
Okay.
Had really good luck with that. 4 or 6, depending on what I have on me at the time. When I was sage grouse hunting, I was running 6 in the bottom barrel and 4 on the top, and it actually saved me on the first bird. And then for waterfowl, new for this season, I'm running a Browning Synergy Wicked Wing, and so that's a 12 gauge as well, and it can actually shoot 3.5-inch shells. I haven't shot them yet. I've just been shooting 3-inch out of it. The funky recoil pad that they have on it actually works really, really well. I mean, it's the recoil is similar to like a semi-auto.
Really?
So yeah, I love that gun. It's nice. It's got mud on it right now. It's the most expensive shotgun I've bought, and so I really had to talk myself into really treating it like the gun that it was built to be. Where it's my blind gun, it's going to get beat up. It's what the Cerakote and the synthetic stock is for. It's not a safe princess. So really like that gun so far. I actually use that gun for sporting clays as well. So in the off season, I picked up sporting clays, and I needed a gun that wasn't kind of rare and old that I was worried about wearing out like my B27. Because I don't think I can get many parts for it just because it wasn't a common gun. And so that B27, it locks up like it's brand new still. So I try to keep that one as nice as possible. And so I picked up this Wicked Wing with the intent to be a dual purpose gun. So they've been proven to shoot well over 10,000 rounds without any issues. So shoot lead through it for clays, and then take that gun the next day and shoot it in the waterfowl blind. And so that's been a great gun. Nice. For shells in that, I'm still trying to find really what I like the most out of it. I started this year with some Winchester dry locks, and I made the stupid mistake. I even told myself I shouldn't do this, but I bought a whole case without even testing it and patterning it. And sure enough, it patterns like garbage out of my gun.
No.
And so, I mean, that was a lesson I already learned in the past. And so I deserved that. And so now I'm shooting some heavy shot 2-4 stack steel, and it's really dirty round. I get tons and tons of unburnt powder out of it, but it groups really well. And so I'm still shooting it because I'm smoking birds with it. It's a lot dirtier than I'd like. And then the backup gun is I actually got it last season for a waterfowl gun because I like over under guns. I'm the weird guy that likes to shoot an over under for waterfowl as well. And so last season I got a CZ Redhead Premier all terrain. So their flagship 12 gauge, but in the all terrain trim. So it's got the Cerakote. It still has a wood stock, which I didn't have any problems with it last year. But that gun being as light as it is with 3-inch shells, it kicks like a mule. I killed tons of birds with it, but I had a lot of sore shoulders going to work on Monday last season. But
yeah, that's
like
a pretty
gun,
light gun, isn't it? Like isn't it? Yeah, it's like a alloy receiver, isn't it?
I believe it's still steel.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's light for a waterfowl gun that's not a semi. We'll put it that way. I mean, it's punishing with a 3-inch shell. Luckily, it doesn't have a 3.5-inch receiver because I probably would have shot some 3.5s out of it and really done some damage. But the gun's been great. Shoots really well. Shot a lot of upland with it as well. And I started using it for sporting clays, but I found out real quick why people tell you not to get into the Turkish guns when you're doing high volume, and the lockup. I could feel it really because in the blind, the gun it would break. I mean, it was a tight fit, a tight lockup, and then I started shooting sporting clays. I was like, man, this thing is really loose to open up. It locks up fine still, but I'm like, I don't want to ruin this gun, so. I think the CZs, I think they make really good field guns. I would keep them away from sporting clays just because of the volume. Because I mean, when I got into sporting clays this past spring, I was going through a case of shells a weekend, and so you get to
that's
5,000 plus rounds.
That's a lot. A CZ.
Yeah. And so sure. that's when that one went back into the safe, and that's when I convinced myself to get the Wicked Wing, which I should have gotten before I got the CZ anyway, because it was I wanted the Wicked Wing, but I couldn't justify the price, so I got the CZ, and then I ended up buying the Wicked Wing anyway.
So did a similar thing.
I should have stuck with the buy once, cry once, and it bit me. But now I've got 3 guns. I've got a nice backup gun that can be backup for waterfowl or for upland, because like that B-27 with that steel that the Belgian guns had, the blued steel, it is very susceptible to rust if you're out on a rainy day and you don't get that thing dried off quick. So just part of trying to keep it nice. If it's going to be a rainy hunt, it stays at home and the CZ comes out.
Very good. And then vest. What kind of vest do you like for upland?
The vest. Luckily, I did stick with the buy once, cry once, and I went with a Final Rise Summit.
Nice.
Okay.
I love the vest. It's been great. The only modification I've made to it is I've strapped a first aid kit to the back of it. I used a My Medic kit to start my base off of, and then I actually customized it based off a Gundog Doc's K9 first aid kit series, and it's nice because the base of it connects to the webbing on the back of the vest, and it's just a Velcro pad that the first aid kit actually attaches to and then buckles on. And so when I'm going from upland to waterfowl, I can actually just unbuckle it, pull it off the Velcro, and throw it in the blind bag or throw it back on the vest.
Nice.
So I love the vest. I actually have a video of Tater when we were training out on her first day ever out in the field for training. It was a pretty hot one, and we got a little ways out there, and so I actually just picked her up, put her in the back of the vest, and she had her back feet in the bird pocket, and then she had her front feet sitting on the hip belt, and just was sticking her head out the side as we walked back to the truck.
You're making me want to cocker again. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
That I mean, that's when it comes to the gear. That's the cocker is. If you think about having a dog that gets injured, when you have a vest like the
Mhm.
final rise, a cocker fits in that back pocket perfect. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
nice, easy carry out if you had an injured dog.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Um, so I have another question. This is kind of more specific for me and you. So because I have a boy dog
Mhm.
and you have a girl dog,
Oh.
any thoughts of a sprocket?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Shut
So
down, Jared.
Just right out the
um,
gate, it's fair.
I I'm waiting at least 2 heat cycles
Uh-huh.
to spay Tater
Sure.
at least, but I don't know if I would. So uh, another shout out to Gun Dog Doc. He has a video where he talks about how the spaying practices are kind of changing, or spaying and fixing, because
Uh-huh.
they're starting to do more studies on just like the different instances of cancer and health issues that come up with spaying at different times. And with cockers, it was looking like anything before the 2 heat cycles, they're I can't remember exactly what cancer it was, but the instances did go up. And then I think it was around the 7 or 8 year mark. If you waited longer than that, then the instances of pyometra went up. And so I know somewhere in between that point, I want to do it.
Okay.
I don't right now. I don't want a breeder.
Sure.
Just just with a lifestyle and everything.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
dedicate that kind of time, and I don't want to be just some backyard breeder.
Sure.
But depending on where I'm at and how old Tater is before I have her fixed, that might change at some point. I might
Sure.
have that conversation with the breeder she came from. Because with how she hunts, I would definitely like to have a puppy out of her,
Mm-hmm.
just to
Mhm.
keep that going. But I think if my breeder, when I'm ready for another puppy, if my breeder has still has some of the dogs from the line she comes from, then
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably lean towards that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jared's
Yeah,
pretty easy when you have the boy dog. Just have some puppies, like
yeah,
let the girl dog gonna take care of everything.
Yeah. That
yeah,
was why I was asking.
yeah.
So it's like I don't really, I just
Like,
gotta
hey,
drop him off for like an hour or two and then come back and go get him. He's fine.
It's
wait
interesting.
some time.
Yeah.
I think the Sprocker really bridges the gap between guys that want the bigger size but still want the craziness of a cocker.
Yeah.
But I haven't come across any hunting Sprockers yet. All the Sprockers I've seen have been like over in the UK and just
Mm-hmm.
house dogs. So I'd be
Mm.
interesting to see what their hunting style would be more, if it'd be more cocker esque or if it'd be more Springer.
I mean, I'm just saying, man, we got the ingredients right here, man. Like we can figure this out like right
He's
now,
still
man.
pushing. He
Well,
still wants this
I'm
Sprocker out
just
here.
I'm just saying.
We'll have to
yeah,
have Josh on soon because I know they just had some Sprockers. They had a little mix up, I think, and had some Sprockers, and
An
he
accident.
was trying to get him to some hunting families here in the Northwest. So, or he's in Utah, so out that way. So we'll have to have him on and see what stories he has about where those pups wet and how they're doing.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you would think coming from 2 different hunting dogs that they should still have it in them, but
Yeah.
I think Sprockers are still kind of new enough, especially in the U.S., that it's like nobody could say for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think most dogs, if you set your expectations right, they'll hunt to some degree. If you
Yeah.
really train them right, I think gun breaking is going to be the hardest aspect of all that. But I've got this fantasy in my head that one day I'm going to train an Australian cattle dog to be a duck dog, because I mean they've got the drive, they've got
Got
the
drive.
focus, and they're
Mm-hmm.
at least my cattle dog was an excellent swimmer,
No.
and I mean, and they've got the coat for it too. So
Yeah.
I've got, because I love the breed, and so I've got this fantasy that one day I'll get a duck dog out of a Australian cattle dog.
There's a
Be cool.
guy, and I can't remember. I don't know if he has cattle dogs or if he has Shelties. He has
Shelties.
something. Yeah, he has some. It's not like a normal it's not a normal hunting dog, but he has like two or three of them. I'll have to remember if I remember who the guy actually is. He actually has like a Instagram page, I think. But yeah, he hunts uplands. He hunts chuckers with his,
Hmm.
and he does just fine. I'll have to find him. If I find him, I'll let you know. Um, but yeah, I think you're right. I think like if you set your right expectations, anything can be a hunting dog if
It's
if you
true.
really want it to.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tater, every most hardcore chucker guys will tell you you have to have a pointer to hunt
Mhm.
chucker. But I think Jared, I think you're like me, where our initial chucker hunting was without a dog and
Mhm.
was still able to have success. So I kind of approached chucker hunting more like big game hunting, where it'd be nice to have a big pointing dog that could range and really go locate them for you. But the way I hunt now with Tater is I look for habitat and terrain that would hold chucker,
Uh-huh.
Right.
and then we work the wind into it. And then I just really pay close attention to Tater when she starts getting birdie. And she's just out of the 5 different days that she's gone, she's actually developed this technique now where she'll be working the wind, and the second she picks up fresh scent, so like not just that the birds had been there, but that there's birds close. She picks
Mhm.
her head up and she'll stop and wait for me now. And so we'll
Okay.
actually she'll look at me, and we'll walk in, and I'll bring her to heel, and we'll walk in, and we have the expectation. I look at the terrain, I go, we're working here, wind's coming up the canyon. I'm like, here's a knob that they would hide behind, or here's some rim rock that they'd be up against in this weather. And
Mhm.
um, so far it's been working great, and she's kind of honing that in more and more. And then if we're not in a situation where the wind's to our advantage, she hunts them like a normal flushing dog.
Interesting.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had Bridget doing that with different species too. As she's getting older, she's learning like, oh, with quail, I need to get in front of them and flush them back if I want to get
Mhm.
one off the, if I want to retrieve one. And with Huns, she not always, but she's really learned to work really close and slow down. There's been a few times when she just can't handle it, and they must be running, and she just starts taking
Yeah.
off after them. But yeah, it's crazy to watch your dogs do that. You give enough exposure, and they start figuring it out. They're
Mhm.
Yeah.
pretty smart.
Yeah. I mean, this last weekend I was up chucker hunting, and the first covey was the perfect example where we had the wind in our face and we worked into them nice and slow. And fortunately, I couldn't shoot that day to save my life. And we flushed the first covey, I mean, maybe 20 yards from us,
Hmm.
missed them. And then we worked our way throughout the canyon, and we ended up in a spot where the wind was ripping up the canyon, and we're just walking side canyoning or side hilling. And then she picked up scent downwind. It was interesting. She picked it up on the ground, and so instead of pulling her head up and following the wind like she does when it's in her face, she kept her nose to the ground, and she just quartered up the hill until she got past them, and then hooked right back around when she picked up the fresh scent in the wind. And that's when she picked
Yeah.
her head up and went right for them. And so it's kind of a cool example of the two different ways that she hunts. I mean, the first
Mhm.
time they flushed right in front of us, and the second time she flushed them down the hill right at me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I love seeing people. I mean, the obvious one for flushing dogs is having them on chuckers because it is more of a challenge. It's not as traditional as with that, but I just love seeing dogs do stuff that's outside of what their normal is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool to hear about. I had a guy probably over 10 years ago now. I worked with him and he never hunted before and he wanted to go upland hunting. He knew I would go and I said, sure, come with us. And he went with me in the lab and I think my sister went and we went and hunted and we flushed a bird but didn't get it. And he was hooked and he had a boxer. And he was like, sent me a picture. He goes, "Look, I got my first pheasant over my boxer." And I'm like, "There you go, man. That's all you
Wild.
need. Like, you can do
Yeah.
it." So he's like, I'm
Yeah.
not sure how much he did to get the bird up, but he was out running around looking around. Like, hey, at least extra feet in the ground is something. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just cool to see. It's cool to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. You guys are going to have to get a cocker at some point if you're hunting as much pheasants as you are, because uh, I know do you guys have a lot of blackberries out where you hunt?
Yeah,
Yes.
So when you think of the blackberries, if the hole is big enough for a rooster pheasant to fit in, the cocker can
it's
fit.
true.
And I mean, Tater,
Yep.
she dives in without hesitation. My two duck hunting buddies, we went on a preserve hunt last year, and February because it's a way we can extend the season. And so we went on a pheasant hunt, and they had their labs with them, and I had Tater, and we're walking up this road in this unit to get to the field where they told us to start hunting. And the second we got off that road and I sent Tater into the first brush patch, she comes out with a hen roost or a hen pheasant in her mouth. And I mean, in 30 seconds flat, but she was just making quick work of all the blackberry patches, and she was pushing birds out. And we had one bird, my buddy shot it right over a blackberry patch, and he's like, my dog can't get it. I'll send Tater. And so sent her in, and I kept hunting the direction I was, and she was off with him. And he's like, I can't find your dog. I'm like, was she barking? He's all, yeah. And I'm like, well, she's either stuck or she's fighting the bird. And sure enough, I followed the sound and I went over, and she had the bird, but she got into the blackberries, and there were some old logs that were under there, and she got stuck under the logs because she was holding onto the bird. She couldn't get out with the bird in her mouth still, and she just wouldn't let go. And so I was able to get in there, lift the log up enough for her to come out with it. But I mean, she just dives into anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I had a cocker once for a little bit, and definitely it's always in the back of my mind as a future dog. I think having a cocker and a springer would be a good mix, like have one of each. You could kind of have the best of both of that world. That's already a similar world, but to your point, they can do different things and get in different places, kind of hunt a little differently. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the cockers, a big benefit that I think people overlook with cockers is you can carry less water in the field.
True. Need less food overall when you're feeding them. Like the smaller dogs have benefits. Like you said, pick them up and carry them if you run into trouble or they get hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't do that with a 100-pound lab as easily.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, great. Well, Jared, do you have any other questions for Chris? Or Chris, do you have anything else you want to cover that you were hoping to talk about?
A tip that I think a lot of people don't get. I think a big tip that people should be getting more when they start asking about getting their first bird dog is, once you figure out the breed you want, find a breeder that hunts the way you want to hunt.
Yeah.
I think that's something it's not emphasized enough, because I mean, Tater's the perfect example. I found a guy that hunts the same way I want to hunt, and sure enough, Tater hunts just like that. And it's very it's not standard for the breed, but she does it like it is standard for her. I mean, it's great. And then you also, the other side of that is, if you build that good relationship with that breeder, you've got somebody that you can now reach out to and be somewhat of a mentor when you're trying to do something new, like work them in the water, like blind retrieves or anything like that. You can reach out to them and go, hey, I'm having these issues. Have you seen this? How did you go about correcting this? Because I mean, if I would have gotten her from another breeder that doesn't do any waterfowl hunting, and I said, hey, I'm having a hard time keeping her steady in the duck blind, he'd say, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So they're not
yeah,
duck
like,
blind
what are you
dogs.
talking about? Yeah. Why do you have it in the duck blind? Go get a lab. Yeah. No, it's a really good point, and something that I don't know, it can't be overstated enough, because just people, like I said kind of earlier, people just want, like, oh, this is the best dogs. They have this many titles. Like, and maybe that works for what you want, but it doesn't always. And those breeders, if they've been doing it long enough, they've been trying to pin down what they want out of the dog. So if they want what you want, or you want what they want, the chances of you being happier with what you picked, with the dog you got, the better. So very good advice.
Yep.
Well, great. Well, Chris, thanks for coming on the show. It was good having you and meeting you. You have to have you on again sometime, and maybe see how the season went, or maybe chat in the off season with how it's going with Tater there at home and training and whatnot. But until then, thanks for joining, and we'll talk to everyone later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any chance I get to yap about dogs, I'm on it.
All right, sounds good. Take care.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the Go Flush Yourself podcast. You can continue the conversation on our Discord server. The link is in the podcast description. You can also follow along with Matt and Jared on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to support the podcast, you can subscribe to the Go Flush Yourself on Patreon for the easy monthly cost of only $2. You can also check out our shop and pick up a Go Flush Yourself sticker, shirt, or other merchandise. All links are in the podcast description.